We are straight politicking. Alex Alonso 101. I'm here with my co-host Munchie B, the mayor. What it do, man? What it do, Munch?
Oh man, everything good. Won some money with Seattle.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a defensive Super Bowl if I've ever seen one. It was like what? No touchdown scored in the first half.
Nah, all field goals by the Seahawks, and it was a defensive game, but the Patriots' offense wasn't giving their defense no help.
Yeah. Well, I think the Patriots are in the building. I mean, that quarterback is young. He's going to learn a lot of lessons. He's definitely going to be back for another one.
I could tell he gonna be a good quarterback in the league, but they wasn't blocking for him.
Yeah, and they wasn't catching. They wasn't catching his passes. There was at least 3 that I saw that were catchable, but he threw a couple bad ones, but there were three catchable ones they didn't get. So I didn't even watch the last half of the fourth quarter. I left. I was like, this is a wrap.
You ain't supposed to let him touch your coach, kicker or quarterback. Man, he got sacked way too many times, maybe like 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, he was getting beat up over there.
Yeah, he gonna be all right though.
I'm going to start off here with our favorite podcaster who was supposed to be released. He's supposed to be released in January. He's still in custody in February. It looked like he had a 10-day hold, but Crip Mac, Mr. Crip Mac, is being held beyond those 10 days, but he has another quick court date next week. So I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that they'll probably release him after that court date.
Yeah, they go release him from court. It sound like I don't know why they still be holding him. It's kind of confusing, but
Well, when you're on probation or parole for a different jurisdiction, you still got to answer to that. So he took a Fed case for the gun, but he was on state probation or state parole, whatever state case he had. So that's a violation, technically. You caught a gun case, you violated parole, but the feds picked it up, they took you to jail, then you get released. Hold on. Knock, 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 knock. The state of California is like, you violated parole by that gun case. So they can do what they want, but he already served some time, so you would think, okay, let it run concurrent to whatever probation violation it is and let the guy out, right?
yeah, but the state, the feds 2 different entities, so they might be like, you gave them theirs, but we need ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they can do that if they want.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the violation would be in terms of how much time he would do for you caught a gun case while you're on probation. So, okay, let me ask you this. If you're on probation, you catch a gun case and it stays state, you go to jail and you do your 2 years, your 3 years, whatever, and then you're out by does the state add violation to the offense?
Nah, you would they revoke your probation and then give you whatever time you go do for the gun.
Yeah.
And then they go reinstate it. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't did this time for this gun. You did 2.5, and now you go do 3 years probation. You know what I'm saying?
So they'll reset the clock on you and give you a new probation after you get out of jail.
Right.
Okay. So that's what probably they're trying to figure out. He's not going to come home free of any restrictions.
It sounds like he gonna be on both. He gonna be on federal parole and then probation with the state.
Yeah, most likely. So I think the attorneys are figuring it out, and by the 19th, his next court date, he might get released, and I'm thinking we might start seeing him on back on some platforms by early March. I'm sure he's going to your place, No Jumper, first before anyone.
Yeah, I believe that's gonna be his first stop, but I don't know where he gonna be jugging at doing his thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, and I thought that was I thought the first stop for 4Extras was gonna be No Jumper. Also, that was a little surprising that he declined it and went elsewhere.
Yeah. I don't know if it was surprising after you kind of saw Adam wasn't allowed up to the hospital and things like that, like it stopped. You kind of figured it was gonna be shaky after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
What if? But we all expect Crip Mac to continue where he left off, right?
well, he left off with China Mac. China Mac not even in America. I don't know where he at. He overseas or he doing what he do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was thinking about that if he was going to come back and reconsider continuing what they was doing, because that was probably the best content that Crip Mac had been doing before he got caught up.
Yeah, he was doing his best when he was with China Mac. Everybody else, it seemed like, you know what I mean?
I think I told ODM Slim, I don't know if it was the last time he was here or the time before it, had that you dropped the bag on your boy. I don't think he liked that comment.
But keep it real. ODM Slim, that's my boy, but homie management don't work all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's almost never a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, but you know, homie management ain't really a good idea.
No, not at all. I wanted to talk about, we briefly talked about this before, Munchie, the Long Beach mayoral candidate that called for the gangs to come to fight. Well, I don't want to say to fight ICE.
Speak. Well, hold on. What's the correct? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I got a clip. I got it here on my phone. I'm gonna play it, but I want to say that he wanted them to, I don't know, fight probably is not the word, because he was very clear on that.
He wanted them to gather and come to a common ground.
Yeah.
About what the current state of what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I have a clip. I didn't play you this clip before, but this is the actual original clip of Mr. Rogelio, who is a fair-skinned Latino from Long Beach. And here we go.
I'm tired of seeing how there's poor, weak fucking leadership. And the police are not to blame. They're employees. They're there to do a job. So be mindful that the police are not at fault. They are powerless because of the weak leadership that is leading them. So please do not fault the Long Beach Police Department. They are just doing their job, and they are powerless against ICE. So I say this to say this respectfully. My future peace officers with the Long Beach Police Department, I apologize in advance for what I'm about to do. But it needs to be done because you have no power. You have no power and you're caught in the middle. So unfortunately, my name is Rogelio Martinez. I am calling all 55 gangs in my beautiful city. I expect a gang leader from every gang, all 55 gangs, and I'm not going to name them by name, but I'm calling the Latino gangs. I'm calling the Cambodian gangs. I'm calling the Filipino gangs. I'm calling the black gangs. I'm calling the Pacific Islander gangs. I'm calling all gang leaders to meet me right here, Long Beach City Hall, this coming Monday. Why Monday? Specifically, I need you to be here to meet me in person to take back this city. Because our leadership is not doing anything about it, and our police are powerless. Once again, let me be very clear. My name is Rogelio Martinez, your 2026 Long Beach City Mayor, and I need your help. I need to see 55 gang leaders here this coming Monday. We need to take back the city. Enough is enough. ICE needs to get out of Long Beach. And this is the only way that I know how to get them out. Peacefully, but with strong force. But peacefully. And remember, the police are not at fault. The police are not doing anything wrong. I'm not here to defund the police. I stand with my Long Beach police officers, my men and women that serve the Long Beach Police Department. But they are powerless. They are powerless against ICE. I need your help. I need all 55 gang leaders to meet me here this coming Monday. And we need to take back Long Beach. Enough is enough. We cannot have any more innocent people be taken and detained.
That's it, Munchie.
Was that Monday King Day? Or you can't recall?
I don't know exactly what day that was. But what do you think about Rogelio Martinez, man? He kind of did a similar thing that the vice mayor of Cudahy did, but he used a different tone and a different style.
He was very firm. He was very firm. And he I guess he excluded that he was looking for some type of chaos because he let them know that law enforcement is powerless. They have nothing to do, and they not the bad guys. They get stuck in the middle. So he made that clear. But that's a cold, diverse city. Polynesians, Cambodians, blacks, Mexicans, man. Hey, man. But he said he had to do that to get people attention, you know, and it did. And then, damn, 55 gangs.
Yeah, I think he's about right. I think there is about 55 gangs.
I'm pretty sure you know. That's the city he's from. He involved. I'm pretty sure you know. He had the exact number. But sheesh.
So some people were offended, though, that he's actually calling on gangs to do something progressive, to do something for the city, to do something in a, I guess in a protest style manner.
Yeah, he made it clear he wasn't coming like radical and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Erratic. So, why they mad? Because it was gang leaders he called on.
Yeah, because I think mainstream society thinks that all gang members are just thugged out, violent offenders that have no positivity to bring to their communities.
Well, the gang leaders is more the diplomatic ones that could hold a conversation. You know what I'm saying? The leaders. Because if you one of the wild, out of control ones, you're not really the leader. You know what I mean? You can't talk and have conversations with opposing sides and things like that. So,
and I also think the leaders would be older.
More experienced, older, been through it, and they 9 times out of 10, your leader could hold a conversation and broker some type of you know what I'm saying, solution to whatever is going on. You know what I mean?
So did anyone show up to his? He called them to show up.
I doubt anybody showed up.
Yeah,
because he really didn't say what I need you to show up for. You know what I mean? He just said pull up on Monday. You know what I'm saying? That's all he said.
Now you remember the woman from Cudahy?
Yes, Sarsky. I remember.
Okay.
It seemed like her message was more spontaneous. You know what I mean? He thought out what he's gonna say before he recorded himself. Hers is more spontaneous. You know what I mean?
That was Cynthia Gonzalez, and I have a Cynthia Gonzalez clip here. Let's tap in with what she said. This was a few months ago during the beginning of all this ICE stuff. Now we're deep into the ICE situation, where I mean it's gotten to the point where ICE is killing U.S. citizens. They're arresting a whole bunch of non-violent offenders. In fact, I just saw a statistic that said 14% of the people that ICE has arrested have violent records. So that means that, what's that, 86%. 86% do not have any criminal records. So ICE is doing what they said they weren't going to do. But let's listen to Cynthia Gonzalez a few months back.
Not for nothing, but I want to know where all the cholos are at in Los Angeles. 18th Street, Florencia. Where's the leadership at? Because you guys are all about territory, and this is 18th Street, and this is Corcoran. You guys tag everything up, claiming hood. And now that your hood's being invaded by the biggest gang there is, there ain't a peep out of you. It's everyone else who's not about the gang life that's out there protesting and speaking up. We're out there like fighting our turf, protecting our turf, protecting our people. And like, where you at?
Okay, so she went straight to naming hoods, 18th Street, and you know what? There is an 18th Street in Cudahy. There is,
Man, it's 18th Street everywhere.
well, yeah, there's a lot of 18th Streets for sure,
Right.
but she went straight to it, and she sounded like she grew up amongst it.
Right.
She understands it. I don't know if Rogelio Martinez has actually tapped in like as a youth growing up around it, but there's no doubt. Cynthia Gonzalez, she went straight to naming them 18th Street, Florida. These guys are in your hood.
Yeah. I feel where she coming from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta take a stand. Not only when it's some riffraff and senseless stuff, you know what I'm saying? When it makes sense, like ICE and they invading and they about to take your aunties and your heifers. You know what I'm saying?
And she called out ICE as a gang, which is
It is.
it is radical for a politician to say that. We do know there was another politician recently, I think from Oakland, that said that ICE is around here committing violence or doing something about thuggery. So the mayor of Chicago called out ICE.
ICE agents entered a daycare. They went inside of a preschool. They tore a teacher out of a classroom in front of their children. That video shocked the conscience of every single Chicagoan across our beloved city. This is not who we are. We most certainly cannot have this in our city or our country. My heart certainly goes out to the 47th Ward, who were deeply appalled and shocked by this kind of incident. Your agents have broken laws. They have acted with impunity. But at the end of the day, we will hold you accountable for the crimes you have committed against our people. Ripping a teacher out of a daycare just further proves that this operation has nothing to do with the, quote, worst of the worst, end quote. The cruelty and the inhumanity that has been on display, that is their point. They're trying to intimidate us, and we certainly see how far they are willing to go. We will continue to push back and resist this tyranny. We will use every single tool at our disposal. We will certainly push to look for additional measures that we can use to enforce our Constitution.
But this woman, this was months ago, Munchie. This is before the drawback that ICE is getting now in the beginning of 2026. This was last year. This was some month last year. She was calling out ICE as being thugs. This is before they killed anybody, before they shot anybody. This is when they were just snatching people up off the streets and handcuffing them and questioning them. But what this woman said kind of came to fruition. I mean, we are actually seeing them shoot people, shoot unarmed people, bust into cars, people who don't have any criminal records. Yeah, ICE is definitely acting like a gang out here.
And some people that's not immigrants, they just whatever nationality, you know what I'm saying, race they are. So they assuming that they're immigrants and they not. Gonna find out.
I think all the people that have been shot by ICE, the 2 or 3 or 4, they're all U.S. citizens. I don't think any of them were undocumented. None of them. So
they not really even doing no homework on who they trying to go out there or snatch up. They just, if you look like you not American, quote unquote, or you from somewhere else, they own you.
Yeah, because you could tell sometimes the people are recording them and they're asking people, where were you born? What hospital you were born in? What city are you from? So they don't have a clue. They're asking the people that they're gaffling up, where are they from?
Okay, ICE, if they say the name of these hospitals, Are you gonna even know the hospital? Well, what hospital were you born in? You don't know.
They're literally asking these questions.
You know how many little bitty ass hospitals it is?
But they're asking that just to see how fast you answer and whether you hesitate or whether you don't have a good answer. What would you say? What hospital you born in, Munchie?
I don't even remember the name. It ain't up no more. They knocked it down. So they gonna cuff me up.
Yeah, they gonna boom, you going to jail. Actually, there was a guy that he did the same answer. He didn't really remember the name or anything like that.
But me, I just say sit and just hey, I just, you know what I'm saying? But man, the hospital I was born in is not even standing no more.
Yeah, I don't know if most people know what hospital they were born in. I don't know if that's something you're supposed to know.
I think most know.
Okay, I know because I read my birth certificate on a regular basis. I've studied it, and
yeah, I know. I just know it ain't there no more. I forget the name.
But if you don't have access to your birth certificate, like my mom used to keep the birth certificates and take them back, like let you use it and then take it back. But if you got access to your birth certificate and you study it, you should know what hospital you were born in.
Man, my daughter was born at Kaiser, Harbor City, and I ended up meeting my baby mama later on in life, and look at her son birth certificate and my daughter birth certificate. The same doctor delivered both of them at two different Kaisers, but the same doctor.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
You know what time of day you was born?
The time I was born?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, people be asking that because they want to do your horoscope.
You know what time you was born?
Yeah.
What?
10 something p.m., 10:40 p.m., something like that.
I'm gonna look just to know.
Yeah, you never had anyone that wanted to do like your whole your reading based on your horoscope, your zodiac?
I had a girl do it and it spoke me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did, man.
But Rogelio Martinez, I do not think you are going to. You don't have no motion, bro. You don't have no campaign. He's a Long Beach mayor candidate, and he's just using social media to
As a tool.
Yeah, and I think he knows. I think he knows that he's not going anywhere in terms of that race. And
oh no, I don't think this was to further his campaign with the election, right? You think so?
Well, you would hope if you're running for mayor, you would hope that you got a plan to at least win some votes, right? Or is it just I kind of felt. Look, I got an interview with the dude on another platform, and it felt like he was just clout chasing.
He said it not without using the words.
Yeah,
he said he did what he said what he had to say to get the people attention.
Let me play a couple minutes of this interview he gave, and then you tell me if you think he was clout chasing. Here we go. This is before I play it. Let me just identify this document. It's from Jackie Ray TV. She did her due diligence and tracked the brother down, and did a short interview with him. And this is what he had to say.
Good morning, Long Beach. Today is Monday, and it's the day that Rogelio Martinez, candidate for mayor in Long Beach, has decided to call for the leaders of 55 gang members to meet him at Long Beach City Hall at 5 p.m. Now, normally this is not a story that I would cover, and I wouldn't have covered it had I not seen this story make its way to MSN.com and then eventually make its way to World Star. World Star does not pick up posts until they go a little bit viral, which is concerning to me. Personally, do I expect this to have any sort of validity to it? Do I expect any gang members to come out? No. But we also don't live in a society where common sense is abounding right now. So I am concerned about what may take place this evening in our city. With that, I'm also concerned at the rally call. Why would this be what anyone, but especially someone who considers themselves a mayoral candidate, why would they make this call? So I called Rogelio myself and I asked him to talk to me about this, and he did. And this is what he had to say. Long Beach made headlines recently with the two gardeners that were detained and actually taken into custody by ICE. Have you personally witnessed any confrontations with ICE in the city?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I've just been witnessing what the world has been witnessing, which is all of the images, especially of those two gardeners. That's what literally was for me the last straw. You know, I was like, you know what? Somebody's got to do something. I'm just a normal person. I'm no one special. I'm a grandfather of two. I have a kid, a failed marriage. I'm not working right now. And I just figured, look, even me with everything against me, I can do something about this. And so literally I said, you know what? I'm going to make a video that is going to get the attention of the world. And that's the video that I made.
Well, it worked. I have to be honest. Your call to action was not something that I would typically cover because I didn't think it was a good idea. However, once I started seeing it on national news sites, and then when you made World Star, which is one of those ones that you really have to kind of go viral a little bit before they pick you up, then I felt like this needed some attention. But when I think of gangs, especially covering what's happening in our city regarding gangs, I felt like this was a terrible idea. So what was your thought process behind this?
I was very meticulous and detailed in every word that I used. If you noticed, I never asked for any violence, not one time in the video. I never named a gang by name, meaning there is no gangs showing up today. Not one gang is showing up today because I didn't specifically call upon one gang. I made a very purposeful, intentional video to get the world's attention. And I just didn't know how much hate there was in the world for me.
Do you think there's hate in the world for you specifically, or is there an understanding that while you didn't specifically name gangs, gang members, and you did not specifically call for violence, gangs are violent? So you didn't necessarily have to say, violence. You did say we want to do a non-violent meeting of the minds per se, but there are families in Long Beach that have lost loved ones to gang violence. There are people who are still grieving from gang violence. There are communities in our neighborhood. I cover stories all the time about the racially motivated violence from gangs in this city.
Absolutely. And you know what? And those families have every right to backlash at me for the pain that the gangs have caused. It was my only way that I could get the attention that Long Beach needed. Look, right now, my daughter, my grandsons, even my ex-wife live in Long Beach. My little sister was born in Long Beach. Right now, I only care about the community
All right, I think
known
we got
as
the
Long
point
Beach, California.
on Mr. Rogelio Martinez.
And
Before you say anything, Munchie, I just want to make a few points here. I would tell this young lady that did the interview that gang members actually have meetings every week here in Los Angeles, multiple times at the YJC, Youth Justice Coalition, on the east side on Central Avenue. And these are OGs, older guys, mature dudes that are trying to come up with solutions and bring peace to the city. Obviously, she is completely unaware of that. We actually have Porky here from Kitchen Crip. He's one of the guys that's heavily involved in that. And there's many others. Secondly, I don't think it's a bad idea. She said it was a terrible idea, what Rogelio said. If Rogelio was tapped in with the same types of guys that are interested in what Porky and others from United We Stand Up, Twin, what's homeboy from Swan? He's Psych. He's heavily involved. Skip Townsend's heavily involved. My boy from Payback, Gardena, Taco's heavily involved. I mean, I can go on and on. I know I'm missing a whole bunch of brothers' names, but it's a great idea if Rogelio was tapped in with those guys like that in Long Beach. And Cynthia Gonzalez from Cudahy, she did not call for any violence in her rant. She just sounded a little bit more hood than we would expect a politician. And lastly, gangs, to my first point, the gangs are not violent because I would take this young lady to a weekly meeting on a Wednesday or Thursday on the east side, a room full of about 50 dudes, Crips, Bloods, and Southsiders, and she'd probably be shocked at the conversations that are taking place.
Yeah. I mean, wherever she at in the world, Jackie, tap in. Come sit down with us on Straight Politicking. It's a good conversation. Whatever. I could tell she good at what she do. She's it's a misconception about gangs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be a good conversation for us to have, us three. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. She has a nice channel here, Jackie Ray TV. She's very consistent with her content. And if she's local, shoot, maybe you could have her on an episode.
Richard Hart.
Richard Hart.
Yeah, I love to have that dialogue.
Yeah.
But as for
I think she is local because she said something about covering the Long Beach race crimes in the past. So tap in, Jackie Ray.
two things about the mayor candidate. That when you call for these leaders, you don't know who's watching. You might put a target on these quote unquote gang leaders' backs because you know it's against the law to be a leader. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you might put a target on their back, but what people don't understand, in most cases, the leader ain't the violent ones. Those are the ones that could sway a situation left or right or calm these people down. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah, being a leader is a little nerve-wracking because when Lil Doc Thong from 6'9" East Coast Crip got RICO'd a couple years back after he worked so hard on that F-13 East Coast Crip truce, there was a lot of brothers that was like, man, I don't know if I want to be a part of this work because it looks like we being targeted because quote unquote the leadership name or the leadership title, you know. And I hope to believe that Lil Doc Thong was not targeted because he was out here doing some positive things. You know, he had some old stuff in his past that came back to haunt him. But you know what? A lot of brothers have some old stuff in their past that might come back to haunt them. And when they do this type of work, intervention, prevention, peace talks, you might end up putting a target on your back for law enforcement to take a closer look at you. So a lot of dudes wanted to step back after they saw Lil Doc get indicted.
Hey man, but see, if you got the power to stop something, a war that was that big, like the East Coasters and the Florences had going on, I mean, you gotta think, do law enforcement really want that? Because now, shoot, they ain't really got too much work to do. Not that they do anything anyway, but people still getting hurt. But you might be, and as much overtime or whatever else, because you know this dude Doc and oh boy, the big dog from up top with the Hispanics, they had put it to the end. So you know a lot of people, including law enforcement, they don't want peace. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great point because these gang units that the police have, these gang laws, the gang suppression teams, that employs a lot of cops. That puts a lot of kids in college. That pays a lot of bills for cop families, for gang crime to be an issue. So, you know, you want to believe that, oh, these police want to bring peace. The mayor wants to bring peace. The city government wants to bring peace. But the more peace we have, the less policing we need.
Right.
So does that mean that budgets for law enforcement shall be reduced? They're never going to do that. But there was a movement for that after George Floyd got killed, defund the police, that's not realistic. You're not going to just defund the police. But I do believe that, hey, look at the budget for LAPD. Look at the budget for Inglewood PD. Crime has been dropping. Do we still need all these specialized units? Do we still need all these detectives?
They don't need these new cars. They riding around in brand new Chargers. They don't need the new XD, the new edition Glocks and all. You know what I'm saying? They don't need that to police serve and protect. You know what I mean? Like when they get the funds and they open up new little departments and little sections of it, and man, that shit ain't needed.
Well, that's going to be a tough argument to make, because they're always going to say we need the new stuff too. You know, our cars are getting old, our guns are getting old. I remember they all had 9mm Berettas. LAPD did. Those were nice pistols. Mm-hmm. But they said we need a new gun, so they went to the 40 caliber Glock. That's a slightly more powerful. I mean, a 9mm is powerful. Mm. The 40 Glock is slightly more powerful than whatever comes out next. In 2027 they're gonna start saying, hey, we need this other pistol, and crime is going down, and then they're wanting more powerful weapons.
Right.
So, and then what really did it was that North Hollywood shootout back in the North Hollywood shootout that had to be 1997. You remember that the North Hollywood shootout where those two dudes just basically took the whole department on a shootout for 44 minutes? Yeah. After that LAPD changed policy about having access to more powerful rifles in the car. They need them in the trunk now.
It is one of the most shocking crimes and gun battles in LAPD history. 25 years ago today, what became known as the North Hollywood shootout took place. What started as a robbery at a Bank of America changed the lives of those involved forever. And Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia is live at the scene in North Hollywood 25 years later. Sid?
David, the shootout lasted less than an hour, but as you mentioned, for those who lived through it, it changed their lives forever. 44 minutes of hell. That's how LAPD Chief Michael Moore described what's known as the North Hollywood shootout. It began at 9:17 in the morning, 25 years ago today, at the Bank of America on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Two heavily armed men, fully clad in body armor, robbed the bank and then opened fire on civilians and the LAPD. Tanya Bellard was the dispatcher that morning.
All officers stay down. Shots are being fired from AK-47s. There is an officer down.
I replayed the sounds and seen the people today, and the video and seeing the bank and the sign. It just all comes back, and it's just kind of in you, and just realizing if I had messed up, somebody might not have had a parent.
A running gun battle through the streets of North Hollywood, unlike any other the city has ever seen unfolded. And it was all broadcast live on TV. Chief Moore was one of the first responders to the scene. He says the shootout had a major impact on police work here and across the country.
It did change the course of law enforcement across this country, as we recognize that the proliferation of weapons and firearms, and particularly the sophistication of those firearms, was only increasing. It's something, unfortunately, we continue to see to this day.
About a dozen LAPD officers and several bystanders were injured during the shootout. But the only people who died in this horrific act were the gunmen, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matasariano. The LAPD had never before encountered men with automatic weapons like this, protected by body armor.
We now have active shooter training, mass violence training that we teach our officers to respond as a team, to work as a team, to move towards the threat and try to stop that threat as quickly as possible.
Because of one incident, I don't know if you ever pay attention. The sheriffs now have a shotgun in the middle. Correct.
The passenger and the driver.
Yeah, and sometimes the LAPD will have a rifles mounted in the trunk, just because of that North Hollywood shootout. That shit ain't never happened since. That's like a one in a 50-year incident where two dudes just decided, hey, let's go to battle with the police.
It might be another century before something like that happened.
Yeah.
For it to last that long, for like 40-some minutes.
I think it'll happen in less than like 50 years. I say 50 years, somebody else is going to do that.
50? And it's been how long now?
Okay, 97. Ooh, 97. So we're in 2026. Add 3. It's been 29 years.
Okay, so what you think, 30-something more years?
I say in
20-something years.
Yeah, in 21 years, it'll be 50.
So,
yeah.
Hopefully not, man.
Because there's always going to be people like that in the society. There's so few of them.
So we're not counting Christopher Dorner.
Nah, man, he was one of them. He was a military veteran and a police officer. So
nah, but he gave some resistance to law enforcement.
Yeah, he did.
So we not counting him. So we gonna count. It don't count him, right?
I mean, he's probably in the conversation, but the two dudes in North Hollywood were just straight civilians.
Christopher Dorner is a hero to me, man. No, for real, and I think he need to be celebrated. But and he the poster boy for taking a stand, because most people that's a part of the department. When I say the department, I mean the police department. They just look on as people get mistreated and misconduct. You know what I'm saying? Take place. They don't say nothing. They just shut their mouth because they ain't about to be the snitch around the, you know what I'm saying, the precinct, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They be scared to speak up, or they might get outcast, or they might get voted off the island, or they might get, you know what I'm saying, demoted, you know what I'm saying? So they don't want to say nothing. But he spoke up. Well, I guess he tried to speak up. They wasn't hearing him, and that's how he got their attention.
Yeah, everybody wants to save their pension, so they're not going to resist. But I'm familiar with this one cop here in L.A., a black cop named Guillory. I never met the brother, but he sued the LAPD as he was a member. He has been probably one of the most nonviolent resistors of the LAPD. You know,
Man, if I ain't tripping, he sued, but he still work, right?
Well, he still I think he's retired.
But after he sued, he was still working.
Yeah, he was still working.
Damn, how you sue him and still have a job?
That's crazy. Yeah. That's why I've always wanted to meet Mr. Guillory to find out, you know, what it was like, because there is this belief that no one really talks about, but even the black cops often have this conversation that it's racist in the LAPD as a black LAPD officer. And that's like a topic that nobody ever talks about. I think Cheryl Dorsey, she's a retired LAPD cop. She may have touched on it in her book. I haven't read it yet. I got it on the shelf here. But I've heard time and time again, black cops just having a tough time in the LAPD.
Hey, yeah, man. And then there was that dude that was a CEO for years that retired, and he started speaking out. I forget his name. He went on Vlad and not somebody else, but
you talking about Bravo?
I think that's his name.
Hector Bravo?
Yeah, man.
The Latino guy.
Yeah, man. I usually couldn't sit and listen to something that long, but I was stuck. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely given more insight into the CDCR and what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah,
the number of games, the population control it be with the Hispanics and the blacks, and how they play. Just looking at us go at each other for entertainment. Integrating the PCs with the GP, knowing this go ignite something, and that's putting the COs in danger at the same time, because they got to step in and intervene and try to, you know, try to de-escalate the situation. And man, Hector Bravo, man, you need to pull up to straight politicking. We need to talk. You know what I mean?
I got his number. I got his number. He said he told someone that he was down to do it. I think I might go down to where he's at and interview him. So I make a little trip. He's south of Los Angeles, so.
Okay.
I might go down there. But we were aware of what was going on in the CDCR years ago when in Corcoran they were plotting fights, and the guards were betting on people and using it for entertainment.
Right.
So and all those cops got charged, but they all got acquitted. All those COs, it was a big case, but they all got acquitted. So, you know, so much for accountability in that situation.
2 years ago, we first reported the story of California's prison system, the nation's largest. And one prison there in particular, Corcoran State Prison, where the FBI was investigating numerous corrections officers, prison guards, who'd been accused of staging inmate fights, sometimes wagering on the outcome, and then when those fights got out of control, of shooting the inmates involved. Since Corcoran opened 10 years ago, more than 30 inmates had been shot, 8 of them shot dead during those fights. The California Senate has been looking into that violence since our first report, and they have come to a sad conclusion. But we begin tonight with our original story. Most of the fighting and the shooting of prisoners has occurred in Corcoran's Special Security Housing Unit, the SHU, a prison within the prison that is set aside for difficult inmates, violent inmates from throughout the California prison system. Lieutenant Steve Rigg was a supervisor at Corcoran.
We've had inmates killed when it could have been avoided, and now I think it's just a cover-up.
Since Corcoran Prison opened in 1988, guards there have killed 8 inmates and wounded scores of others. more than any other prison in the country. Why were so many inmates getting shot at Corcoran? First, the California Department of Correction is the only major prison system in the country where the guards are armed inside all the prison housing areas. And for years, its regulations called for an integrated exercise yard policy. But if you put feuding inmates, blacks and whites, Latinos, rival gang members, into small exercise yards like this one in the shoe, it's bound to lead to violence.
Right.
And I don't think there's never been a really huge, large-scale CDCR case with a whole bunch of COs going to prison. That would have been the one, but they got acquitted.
Man, yeah, no, you knocked that out. I want to roll with you and you sit, you know what I'm saying, sit sideline and feed you some questions. Hey, but no, we got to get that knocked out for StreetTV.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, man. I got this story sent to my inbox. It was kind of crazy about a shootout that happened in East LA. A 26-year-old man shot after attempting to rob a customer eating at a taco truck. The customer actually ends up pulling out his gun when the dude was trying to rob him. And unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, depending on your perspective, the robber got shot and killed. Here's a clip. Here's a quick clip.
An attempted robbery in Boyle Heights turned deadly overnight.
The LAPD says the suspected robber pulled a gun on a man eating at a taco truck. The man being robbed then pulled out his own gun and shot the robber multiple times. The robber, identified as a 26-year-old man, died at the hospital. Police say the other man drove off after the shooting and they're now looking for him.
Hey, the guy did his self-defense and said, "I'm going home." He didn't stick around for the police or nothing, man.
Hey, so he had a legal pistol he did that with?
We don't know.
Yeah, I want to know if he just had a strap that he bought off the streets and that happened, or was he able to carry?
We don't know, but whatever he did was legal, even if it's an illegal gun.
So he'll still get a gun charge?
He'll get a gun charge.
Yeah, what do you do? That's probation.
But sometimes when they want to make an example out of you, let's say they find the dude and they charge him with a murder, right? It's clearly self-defense. And he's going to have to go through the system and get acquitted. And usually when they charge you with the murder, they won't charge you with the gun offense because it looks minor. You're charging him with murder, and then you're going to throw on the gun offense, having an illegal gun.
Let's go eat the gun up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But it depends. A prosecutor might think, okay, he might get acquitted of the murder.
So just give him the gun.
Let me throw the gun charge on there anyways. But then it looks bad to a jury. They're like, well, wait, you're charging him with murder, but then you're charging him with this ticky-tack 2-year gun offense? Because that message you're sending is the murder is weak. If the murder is not weak, you would not charge the gun offense. So in most instances, they don't charge the gun offense in this situation. And if you get acquitted, boom, you go home. I don't think they're going to charge him at all. I hope not. But hey, you never know with these DAs. You know, it says they're looking for him. They want to talk to him.
Oh, he got on.
Yeah, he got on. He went home.
Oh, he smoked him and bounced.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna be looking for him for long. If he don't come forward, they ain't gonna be looking for him for long.
You know what? I remember we were covering a similar situation in Philadelphia. I was doing an episode with FG, and this is on video. This guy's in the liquor store. He's paying for his stuff. His back is facing the camera. A guy walks in behind and tries to rob the dude that's paying for his stuff at the counter. The dude at the counter pulls his gun out and shoots him right then and there, and he bounces. And the Philadelphia News says the Philadelphia PD is looking for, they called him a suspect, and you can clearly see on camera it was a self-defense.
Hey, man, some of these business owners or people you trying to rob ain't playing, man. Their objective is to get a hot dog and make it back home or whatever they doing. Like, everybody ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So I think this is a good lesson for people to realize you can't just pull up on somebody and rob them. You just don't never know what somebody's got on them. And
facts.
As soon as you pull out that strap, you better be ready to use it because the victim, he's going to pull out his strap and immediately start using it. And that's what happened here. He downed the robber.
Right.
He downed his ass. The title here, this was an Instagram title. The guy says, customer pulls out blick. They call him a customer. Yeah, customer pulls out blick and shoots the robber.
That's exactly what he is, though, a customer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the people that he just bought a hot dog or taco or whatever from downtown, they must have told him, like, he just paid for his food. And you know what I'm saying?
And of course, the sheriffs, I believe this will be, no, if this Boyle Heights is LAPD, I'm sure the police, they want his, I don't know, statement. They want to close this out. Maybe they might think of wanting to charge him. Of course, they're going to ask him a bunch of questions. Are you a gang member? But I don't know if it's on camera. There's no video that I know of this situation.
If it's me and I'm the customer, I'm not coming for it.
Why not?
You could close the case at this. It was a robbery gone bad and he got killed. You could just close it with that. You don't need me.
Yeah, but they want to know, damn, who out here killed somebody in self-defense? That person can't remain anonymous.
Yeah,
you know.
I am, because I ain't coming for it. I ain't coming for it because then I'm saying, depending on, like, I might have not supposed to had this pistol. Now I don't even want to play with the idea of charging me with a firearm and just leaving the murder alone. Like, no, y'all got y'all story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, apparently the witnesses told the police exactly what happened, but they still want to talk to the shooter.
Yeah, man, you got your story.
I think I would leave the scene like he did, and then I'll go down to the police station the next day with my lawyer, and just say, yeah, the guy pulled the gun out on me and I shot him. That's it. Or I'll let my lawyer do all the talking.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I'm staying at home watching TV.
There's too many cameras. I'm sure that once they do their deep dive on the cameras,
but they might see me and be like, "Oh, this dude got a heap of tattoos. Oh hell, he's a street person. Maybe he was gang related," and want to switch the whole narrative. Nah, y'all, it's cool. It's a good moral to the story. Don't try to take what's not yours or it might end bad. Run with that in the story.
Yeah, I don't think that there's just too many cameras. There's just too many cameras to think you're gonna get away with it.
Oh yeah, well, do your job. You know, that's the problem, man. We help the police too much, man. Like, go do your job. Go all your specialists and experts and identification experts and do this zooming. Do what you got to do. Let's see if y'all really work for y'all check.
But you don't want to come off as if you're guilty though, and they'll use your evasion as evidence against you. You know, the first thing they're going to say, I remember when I was covering the Dollar shooting. Remember Dollar? Mm-hmm. The dude from Mansfield, he was from Atlanta. He got shot at the Beverly Center back in 2009. Mm-hmm. They made a big deal about the guy not turning himself in after he shot and killed Dollar. And they said that they tried to tell the jury that was a sign of guilt. He didn't want to, turn himself in.
Well, in this case, everybody don't watch the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I didn't know I was on the news. I didn't think something that happened in downtown LA would make the news, because y'all look over us all the time in the inner city.
Everything on the news is on social media now. Like that clip I just played was off of Instagram. So Instagram is the news, and you don't think that a shooting or a homicide is going to pop up on Instagram or TikTok?
And look, we in California. This might be one of my non-English speaking brothers that's not even supposed to be here.
Imagine that.
So hell no, man. Kick back on your couch.
Imagine that.
Justice was served on his own without the police. And
imagine that if he's not a citizen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he was not a citizen, yeah, stay home, bro. They
know what happened. What else you need? You feel me?
Or call me up. Call StreetTV. We'll do an interview we'll do it over the phone.
Right.
Yeah, because I don't think you did nothing wrong.
The world don't.
They
not even calling him a suspect. They call him the customer.
Yeah.
They for sure not calling him a victim.
Nah, they call him. Well, I didn't. For some reason on this story, I didn't even tap in with the official. Like from the news. I just got a little Instagram post off of that one.
We got a would-be robber and their customer. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I got another story we covered before, Munchie. You remember the black cop named Clifford Proctor who shot and killed a homeless dude 10 years ago in 2015, and they decided to charge him in 2025?
In Inglewood?
Venice Beach.
Oh, it happened in Venice. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and it was on camera. This is before body cam, so it was on camera. And
it sounds familiar.
He went out of town. He went actually out the country to his. I think he's a native of Trinidad Tobago, and then he came back and they arrested him in 2025. And remember, I do recall we were talking about, is he going to bail out? I wonder if he's going to bail out. Eventually, he did get bail, and he did bail out. Do you recall us talking about this guy?
Sound familiar, vaguely.
He pulled a gun out on a homeless dude and ended up shooting him. And there was a camera mounted. There was a camera mounted on the side of the building, and it caught the whole thing. And it looked like a bad shooting. It just looked like a bad shooting. But that was 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
the case went on for that long.
Yeah, so I guess, different DAs feel different ways about it. And the Jackie Lacey never wanted to charge him. So here we go. Here's the story. Former LA cop took multiple international flights after being charged with murder, court filings revealed. Now, we were aware when we covered this story before that he did go out the country, but it just seemed like he just took a trip and then he came back and got arrested. But now they're revealing more information about him traveling. It says here, a former cop who allegedly killed an unarmed homeless man was able to take multiple international flights while he had a warrant out for his arrest for murder. Clifford Proctor shot Brendan Glenn while on duty as a Los Angeles police officer in 2015. Glenn, who was 29, was killed after Proctor and another officer, Jonathan Kawahara, responded to calls about the homeless man and his dog causing a disturbance at a Venice Beach bar. The officers attempted to arrest Glenn, which resulted in a struggle before Proctor shot him twice in the back. Okay, Proctor's defense attorney said that his client believed Glenn was reaching for his partner's gun. In 2018, the DA, Jackie Lacey, declined to bring charges. See, it was under another DA at that time, Munchie, and Jackie Lacey refused to ever charge cops. I think she charged one cop in 8 years. So she wasn't going to charge this cop. Former LAPD Chief Charlie Beck disagreed with Jackie Lacey and publicly called for Proctor to be charged with a crime. That's crazy. The chief actually says this cop did a bad shooting.
I know there are public concerns about this particular officer-involved shooting, as there are any time an unarmed individual is shot by a police officer. I am also very concerned about this shooting. It takes an extreme set of circumstances for a Los Angeles police officer to become involved in a shooting with an unarmed individual. We are at this point in the investigation, we don't see those extreme circumstances.
Lacey was defeated in 2020, and then George Gascon decided to prosecute the shooting. After Gascon took office, he hired a special prosecutor to examine it. And then a grand jury transcripts unsealed last year revealed that Kawahara said he did not believe Glenn was going for his gun. Now, Kawahara is his partner. So his partner, Proctor's partner, said he did not believe that Glenn, the homeless dude, was going for the gun. I didn't feel or see Mr. Glenn trying to disarm me, Kawahara testified against his former partner. Ooh, that's pretty tight. This is to hear a cop testify against another cop. On September 2024, Proctor, who had resigned from the LAPD, was charged with second-degree murder. Okay, so he was charged in 2024, but we just covered this in 2025. However, an arrest warrant was not issued until October 2024. On October 2nd, Proctor flew to Trinidad, where he holds dual citizenship. Proctor's defense attorney, Tom Yu, said it was a pre-planned vacation. Proctor was not arrested until October of 2025. So that's a year later. They issued a warrant for his arrest. He's not arrested until a year later. He was arrested at LAX after returning to Trinidad. So just more information about his traveling is coming to light. He did bail out. And do you remember this other part? His partner, he shot his partner in the leg on accident while he was shooting Glenn the 2 times in the back.
That's why the partner didn't mind telling the truth. Like, man, I didn't see him reaching for them. What you bust for?
Yeah, you shot me.
Right.
And that's pretty rare too, because I think they call that crossfire. You cannot, as a police officer, you got to look at your background before you start shooting. And you got to at least make sure your partner is not in the background.
So that's why that's what I'm saying. I thought the partner was just doing the noble thing.
Oh, you think that might have an impact on it?
Yeah, before you shot me, what you shoot me for, man? He's homeless, bro. Like, yeah, I think that took a lot of, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot of the reason why he stepped forward and said, nah, he wasn't. I didn't feel him reaching for my gun, or I didn't see him. That's the reason, because you shot me, bro. Maybe I would have had your back if you would have hit him and missed me.
Yeah, that if that's true, that's crazy.
And then that's rapid fire, because if you shot your partner twice, how many shots did you?
No, he shot Glenn, the homeless dude, twice.
And how many times did he shoot the
I think his partner Kawahara got shot once in the leg.
That was rapid fire. How many times you busting?
Yeah. Proctor is out on $100,000 bail, but the current prosecutor now, because it's not Gascon anymore, it's Nathan Hockman. He has not decided whether to take the case to trial.
That bail is low.
100,000?
That's low.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if it's 100,000.
That somebody lost their life, and your bail is 100,000. That's low.
And he was given permission by the judge to travel to Seattle, Washington for work.
What kind of work you doing now?
I guess he's consulting like a lot of retired cops do. So he retired before he got fired. I guess he felt the heat was coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know what's taking Nathan Hockman so long to decide if he's gonna take him to trial.
Hey man, when you a police officer, you just not. You got more leeway than the average human. You know what I'm saying? You get away with more. It's crazy.
Yeah, you definitely get some perks.
Yeah, if I had a drunk fight with this same person that's resting, and I accidentally unalived them, it'd be a whole different story.
No doubt. I just saw a police officer get pulled over for a DUI, and the cops that pulled him over, they did everything that they can do to make sure he didn't get charged with a DUI. But it was all on body cams. These cops are so dumb. Everything's being recorded.
Charged with trying to cover up a drunk driving crash by an off-duty officer. Prosecutors say Michael Caligari and Ryan McLaughlin tried to conceal that the driver was a fellow cop. The officers are accused of texting one another on their personal cell phones to figure out what to do. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is live in Lower Manhattan with details. Darla?
Sade, this incident happened back in October 2024 when both of these officers were assigned to the 10th precinct. That's when prosecutors here from the Manhattan DA's office say their blue wall of silence crossed over into criminal behavior. Friday morning in a Lower Manhattan courtroom, two NYPD officers are seated behind the defense table. Michael Caligari and Ryan McLaughlin now facing felony charges of tampering with public records in an alleged cover-up in order to protect a fellow NYPD officer from getting a DWI.
And now we see that you guys are giving this drunk cop preferential treatment when he should be charged like all other citizens for the DUI. And they were definitely protecting him.
Yeah, that's toe up, man. Rest in peace to the man that lost his life in this story dealing with this dumb police or whatever.
And let me just add that Clifford Proctor is black. That's just it doesn't matter what your race is when you're a cop. If you did dirty, but there is this belief. I don't know if you tapped in with this. There is a belief that black cops get charged faster than white cops for the same offenses, for the same misdeeds, for the same mistakes, that they're quick to charge a black cop. And you heard Charlie Beck's quote. I'm surprised. Very, very rarely does a chief say, oh yeah, that my cop messed up. Chiefs be protecting their cops. But he said, oh no, Clifford Proctor, he messed up. He needs to be charged.
Yeah, a lot of, but I can't assess the situation because is he saying that because a fellow officer got shot also?
Yeah, maybe that might be part of it. But all right, man. Last thing I want to talk about is crime in the city. Since we just finished another year in the city of L.A., the county of L.A., I should say, because I want to just bring up some homicide numbers for different cities. Hey, we had a relatively decent 2025, man.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we had a lot of stories to touch on that was violent in the city, but overall, it was a regular crime-ridden year. Not too high. Could have been a little lower, but it was definitely not too high. And for the city of LA, we'll start off with the city of LA. Homicide numbers. Let me see here. I thought I had it here. The city of Los Angeles, which is in the county of Los Angeles, and for those who are not really aware of our geography, we got 88 cities in Los Angeles County, and Los Angeles City is one of those 88 cities. And in 2025, there was 230 murders. Does that sound like a lot, or
230 murders?
Yeah, 230 murders.
In LA County?
No, it's LA City.
The city.
Just for the city. 230, and we have 4 million people.
4 million people. Especially when you break it down to the. That don't sound like a lot.
Nah, it's really not a lot. No disrespect to the 230 families of those victims, but when I was in high school, we would have like 800, 900. There was 2 or 3 years in the late 80s, early 90s, like 1,050, and there was less people. So just imagine that, 1,000 homicides down to 230. Same city.
Right.
Same city. Bigger population.
Right.
Let's throw the homicide numbers for a couple of random cities throughout. Well, let me offer some first, and then if you got some you want to know, let me know. But there's these 3 popular areas north of Los Angeles: Santa Clarita, Palmdale, Lancaster. That's the order in terms of distance. Santa Clarita, 5 homicides last year. Palmdale, a little bit higher, 9 homicides. Lancaster, 33 homicides in Lancaster.
Go down out there in Antelope Valley.
But 5 and 9 is pretty low for those 2 cities.
Mm-hmm.
There's something very uniquely different going on in the city of Lancaster for it to have 33 homicides, and that's a city of 160,000 people.
Well, you got people that go to cities like Lancaster for lower rent. So a lot of people that's in Lancaster not originally from there also, you know what I mean? You know, when they get to knocking down the projects and how you say it, eminent domain, and like that, they a lot of people was, you know what I'm saying, shot to Lancaster, Palmdale area.
Okay. It just made me want to look up another city that a lot of people go to, which is Victorville. Let me see if I could pull up Victorville's. I didn't have it here on my list, but I just thought about it. Victorville.
That's all like Mojave, like.
Yeah, Victorville is far more east
Mm-hmm.
than the high desert, than the Antelope Valley and Santa Clarita valleys. What valley would that be called?
I don't know.
Okay, let me see here.
It's considered the IE.
Definitely the IE. I had never looked up Victorville, but I thought about it when you were talking about different places people go, moving from Los Angeles. And they had 11 homicides in Victorville last year. And that's pretty high considering it's a population of 140,000. So, yeah, it's a little high.
That be these cities they migrating to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why, and I like that, bro. That's why I like these mayors don't even be wanting to, I mean, you feel me? They be hating to see us come sometime. When I say us, the minorities, like, you know what I'm saying, the black and the brown.
Okay, let me throw a couple of, two more towns that we're familiar with. Compton. Compton had 18 homicides last year, and it's a city of just a little over 100,000. So that's a high. That's definitely high. 18 homicides, and there's only 91,000 people living there.
Damn, there's less people in Compton than it is Inglewood.
Yeah, Inglewood got over 100. In fact, I'll pull up Inglewood for you right now.
Probably like 108,000.
Yeah, I think Inglewood had 15 homicides, a little less than Compton, but there's a little bit more people in Compton, so that means that Inglewood has a lower homicide rate than Compton does. So Lancaster 33, Compton 18, Inglewood 15. Now I want to just throw in a couple of other Latino towns just to get an idea of the difference of homicide rates. Any particular one you want?
I think you skipped Long Beach.
Oh, all right, let's do Long Beach real quick. Long Beach is the second largest city in the county. It's got over 400,000 people. And Long Beach had 37 murders. And you would say, okay, that's a lot of murders, but
they're the largest city after LA in the county.
Yeah, Long Beach has almost 500,000 people.
Right.
So that's expected. 450,000 people in Long Beach. Okay, so I got El Monte. El Monte is a small town going east of Los Angeles. It's a well-known Latino section. They had 6 murders. La Puente, very well-known section of I guess the SGV. They had 2 homicides last year. And I'll throw in one more because everyone at least has heard of Baldwin Park. Let me look it up right here. I didn't have it here in my notes. Baldwin Park, California.
And who's the face of Baldwin Park these days?
Hey, it's a dude that's walking around with a Grammy.
Shout out Lefty Gunplay.
Baldwin Park has 69,000 people, and they had 6 homicides. Same as El Monte, 6 homicides. So just a little bit of crime data for various cities in Los Angeles. I'm going to look up one more. Santa Monica. My guess is Santa Monica had 0 homicides last year.
I'm going to say 3.
Santa Monica, let's see. Santa Monica is a small, nice beach community.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay,
That's my guess.
Let's see what Santa.
Even if somebody tripped out on their girl, it ain't really got to be no gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, they had 4 homicides. Santa Monica had 4 homicides.
Should have stuck with 3.
It's a city of 90,000. It's about the same size as Compton, so it's a great comparison. 4 homicides in Santa Monica, almost 18 in Compton. So that's that on the crime data.
Hey, let's do better, LA County. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think LA County is already doing as good as it can get, man.
But we go try to beat the you know what I'm saying? Try to go lower.
Like 230 homicides in the city of 4 million. That's like, I mean, can we get lower than that? Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. We go be optimistic and we go try to get lower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever get under 200 just based on, population sizes.
Hey, viewers, this is Mr. Never Say Never. This is so we gonna try to get lower though.
No, I'm just thinking of it, just the numbers. If you look at it, the practical, 4 million people live in this city. That's a lot of stepping on your toes going on.
Right.
So to get less than 200 homicides, it would be incredible if we got down to like 198, 197. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it. And then, people are going to be saying, oh, LA's soft, LA's weak,
Yeah,
you know?
man, but I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, compare, contrast, and compete with murder rates, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess y'all do y'all thing, man. But when you break it down, you got to think about the judicial system. Like, just watching that trial with Young Thug, I'm like, wow. Like, if Thug had the DAs that California got, he would have been in trouble. That DA wasn't top tier. It wasn't. That DA just not cooking people and putting them away. You could tell.
Yeah.
And then even in Chicago, they beat cases that we wouldn't get away with in California. All that play a part. You know what I mean?
Well, Chicago's got a lot of blacks running the government, so there might be a little bit a different approach towards prosecuting crimes and investigating crimes. They got a black mayor right now. They had a black. They got high black ranking police officers.
Man, they got stand your ground laws certain places. We don't got that. That man trying to rob that other man and he unaliving him and getting away. That man, the customer probably don't want to come forward because he ain't trusting it. You know what I mean? So we don't get, you know what I'm saying, what these other states get. Stand your ground.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're gonna be standing in a cell in California.
Yeah, I don't know if the customer in that taco shooting is he a gang member? Is he just a regular dude? Is he a family man?
Man, the judicial system felt it so many times. I wouldn't feel comfortable coming forward. I don't know. Y'all might try to flip the script or nah. Hell no.
Yeah, that's why if you're gonna do it, go get your lawyer.
Everybody can't afford a lawyer.
Well,
nah, don't do. Just kick back, man. Relax.
Get your GoFundMe going, raise some money, get you a lawyer.
Don't go.
Because they're gonna eventually figure it out. He laid somebody out in front of a whole bunch of people at a taco truck after he was getting robbed. You know how many witnesses? I mean, they had the whole. Based on that, what I read, they had the whole story. They already had. He was sitting there minding his business, eating his food. This dude came up, tried to rob him. He pulled out his blick and boom, laid his ass out. That's a lot of witnesses there. Police weren't. But by the time the police got there, he was gone.
They can't even get the money he paid for what his food for out the register because it's too many bills in there. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's not.
That could be like, do you remember what bills he gave you, or some weird stuff, or try to? But nah, hey, nah, just stay at home, kick it, man.
Or if he was eating or drinking something and he left it there, they might have his DNA.
Yeah, hopefully not, man. They got to do their job, I guess.
Like Eric Holder left his DNA on the pickup truck on his way to kill Nipsey Hussle. Like he everything he did, there was no way you're getting away with it.
Pickup truck.
Remember, he was eating his chili cheese fries, walking through the alley on his way to shoot Nipsey.
But that wasn't premeditated at all. So that was spontaneous.
I agree, it's spontaneous, but under California state law, you only need a few seconds to do something premeditated. Which is. California's real strict on that. You could think about killing somebody for 15 seconds and they still call it first degree.
Right.
Even though that's spontaneous as heck.
Right.
But he left his DNA on the truck, on the hood of the truck. He walking through an alley with cameras everywhere. Then he walks into the strip mall with more cameras and leaves and makes his escape with a witness that end up telling on him. So no planning, no thought. He just did what he did. Yeah, Eric Holder's eligible for the senior. Once you turn 50, you're considered a senior. So once he turns 50 and does 20 years, he'll be eligible for release. Might not get it though on the first try.
Stay out of trouble. Get some certificates while you in there. Some schooling, you know what I'm saying, show you rehabilitated.
Do we know what yard he's at? Is there anyone on the same yard with him that is
No, I have never got a report of him being on the yard with anybody. I think we both heard that he tried to go mainline and go amongst the population, but I think the prison refused to take him and they sent him somewhere else or something.
All right, man. Can LA get under 200 homicides? Whew, we'll see. Hopefully. Chicago, Chicago got problems. Chicago got issues. I don't know what's going on in Chicago, but their homicide rate is pretty crazy. And they got a smaller population than Los Angeles. They got less people than LA and more murders. So maybe it's like that. What you think that because they get away with it easier?
Think they get away with it?
Yeah, and California, you're not getting away with it, and that might contribute to our drop in crime. I don't think it's the sole reason, but all the cameras everywhere, the surveillance everywhere, it might have people thinking twice. But I notice whenever we see videos of shootings, everybody got on masks. Everybody's masked up. Like they're trying to get away. Obviously, if you're pulling up to a crime scene masked up, you're trying to get away, and they're still not getting away.
I know. I believe it's more hoods getting along than back then, and there's some new beefs that kicked off, but it's more hoods that they squashed their beefs from the past. So that got a lot to do with it also.
And those people, those co-defendants for Lil Durk, they were all from Chicago. I mean, they came out here thinking that they were just going to do their thing and get away with it.
I can't say what they was thinking. I think the men are innocent. You know what I mean? I don't know what they thought.
All right. Well, somebody on those cameras thought they were going to do their thing. I'm not saying that those are Lil Durk's co-defendants, but I mean that whole crime was caught on camera, just like Eric Holder's. You know, it's almost indisputable when you're on camera from beginning to end. And I don't know what Chicago don't got cameras like they got in here in L.A. Or they don't look at them. The police don't follow up on them. They just or they don't turn them over to law enforcement. Because I know the police will knock on everybody's door on the block. You got a camera? You got a camera? You got a camera? Can we get that? You got a Ring camera? They go to all the stores. Can you download that right now? You look at the body cam. Hey, how can I get that? Can you email that to me right now? You know, they on it for every single camera that exists. What, Chicago don't do that?
No, I just think they police different.
All right, man. Morals over money.
Yes, everybody like, hype, subscribe. Morals over money and Victoria's Secret by Munchie B.
Victoria's Secret. I saw your interview with Angie Smalls.
Shout out Angie.
I was surprised to hear her say she broke up with her dude.
Yeah, shout out Angie.
She broke that news on your channel.
Yeah, so Angie single, y'all.
There you go. Alex Alonso 101, all social media platforms, StreetTV, YouTube, Apple, iHeart, and Spotify on your favorite listening device. And we out.